An equator is a straight line. In spherical geometry, that's true. Look up the definition.
No, straight lines do not curve.
In spherical geometry, a straight line is one that will curve. As long as it curves in a straight way. Along here. That's correct.
Whoa, that ended quick. How's it going out there? Welcome to the show. As usual, if you'd like to support this channel, there are PayPal and Patreon links in the info box below. Speaking to which, Divergent Droid, thank you very much. Thank you to everyone that contributed to the Give, Send, Go. It absolutely floored my wife. She was floored. Let me tell you. So thank you very much, everyone that contributed to it. We didn't reach the goal, but it got close, all right? And it's close enough to floor her, so we're all good, man. She, like I said, I don't think she's going to have any problems allowing me to continue. Put it to you that way for quite a long time. So shout out to you guys. I really appreciate it. We're into another treatment today, luckily. I'm saying that because I probably shouldn't be here right now. Shout out to Betty. Kept me going on and talking and stuff. It's lucky I got here. Had to get something to eat real quick. Wasn't all that hungry, but I didn't want to get hungry during the stream. So you see how you got to backwards plan that stuff. Then you got Brian friggin' sending me videos. Right the hour and a half before this video, another treatment video. Why don't you just send it to me tomorrow? Right? It's not the first time that this has happened either. So I don't know if I'm going to get to that other one. Ironically, though, it had a part in that video that's going to be in this video. And he didn't know that, I don't think. So it was kind of creepy. But we'll get on with it. Like I said, another treatment today. We're going to do Evotard, PhD, Evolutionary Biologist, which is a contradiction in terms. But we'll get on with it. Maybe wait a couple minutes, see how many other people trip on in here. We got a few people in here. We'll give it a couple more minutes. What else is going on out there? You guys can't say anything. You have to write it. Who said QE broke the start button? What start button? I didn't break anything. What do you mean, tack mine? Okay, never mind. Yeah, that's right. I'm usually right on time. I sit here, and I said 6 o'clock, and I sit here. I seen 5:59. As soon as that thing flicks to 6, I hit start streaming in OBS. Just want to let you know. I mean, within 2 microseconds, man. Now, there might be a problem between the start streaming in OBS and YouTube Studio because I have to wait for like sometimes 30 seconds before she has a little live button on top in YouTube Studio, and it doesn't come on immediately. It's sometimes the other day, it didn't even come on. I was sitting here. I'm sitting there. Come on, dude. Give me the blue go light. That's what it does. It turns blue. Gives me the go light. The other day for the other with the QE live, I don't know, whatever. But it wouldn't go. So I just had to sit here. But what I did, you got to be real careful though. I hit refresh. You always got to be careful about those refresh buttons because it can send you off in the never land. But I did that and it popped up and I hit it. So I think there's a little bit of delay, right? So just relax. If I say 6, it's going to be there. Some things are out of my control. All right. Usually I can overcome them pretty quick. What's up, Roger? Evening. Yeah. We don't have Mr. Evening here, that's for sure. We don't got anybody here except me. That's the way I like it. Not that I don't like those folks. Shout out to Flatsy, Kim Hopkins out there. Shout out to Virgin Joy. Appreciate that guy. Everyone in here. Not that I don't like you guys, but during these treatments, I want to be by myself, right? To make it more concise. That's my mission, to be concise. If you haven't guessed it. We don't need no comments or no peanut gallery. Right? Slowing things down. Want to keep on rolling. Like I said, well, you're making steak quesadillas. I don't do steak quesadillas. It's an abomination to steak. To put them in a quesadilla. Oh, and that's Kim too. Jeez, oh man. What do you get? What do you got? Flank steak? That's some nasty stuff right there, man. You got to beat that stuff. You got to get a hammer on. And you just got to beat the dickens out of that thing to get it to soften up. Put some papaya in there because it's got enzymes in there to break up the bonds and stuff, you know. You guys know about that? Papaya seasoning. Then you just screw it all up. You got a hash brown. Oh, God. A green bean casserole. Just the word casserole. I get a little vomit in the back of my throat for some reason. Just get the casseroles out of here. Right? Steak soup. That's a good one, Pablo. Good one. Yeah. Touche on that one. Yeah, so it's good to be back. Especially doing treatments. They're one of my favorite things to do. With this one, I don't think it's going to be a 5-hour one. In fact, I know it's not. Even if it starts to go a little bit long, I'm going to cut it. Yeah. I kind of honed that skill with the treatments. I remember my first treatment was 5 hours. And the other 10 behind that one, they weren't too far away from that 5-hour mark either. So I've learned over the last year or so. How long have we been doing treatment? That's a good darn question. I'm going to look that up after we're done. But I've learned to go just pace myself. Let's just take our time, right? So that's what we'll be doing today. So back to the story. After Betty was talking my darn ear off, so I had to go get something to eat. So no one's home. I got to go make my own dinner real quick. It's not that bad because it was leftover spaghetti. Let me tell you something, dudes. I've told you about this before. My wife will floor you with her spaghetti sauce. The reason why is it's my sauce. See, back in 1992, I got out of the military for the third time. I went off. I was trying to find recipes, so I was doing a bunch of trial and error recipes from, I think it was like late summer of 92 into the fall of 92, and I spent weeks just testing different things out, right? And at the end of the 6 months, I hit this recipe for spaghetti sauce. It was the moment I tasted it, I said, yes! Nirvana! I hit gold, right? I'll tell you what, dudes. In fact, I took the pot, and a buddy of mine lived about, not a half mile away, but close. I just took the pot and walked down to his house and said, dude, you got to try this, man. He looked at me like I was crazy, but he knew my makeup, so he didn't think I was that crazy. I said, you got to try this, dude, man. He loved it. And ever since then, I've been cooking the spaghetti sauce the same way. Now, I gave the recipe to my wife, obviously, so she could make it for me so we could eat it. But through the years, and it's been 25 years since we got married. She's added her little bits to it with my approval, of course. And let me tell you something, man. The spaghetti sauce is world class. If you ever come around here, get in touch with me. I'll have her make some spaghetti sauce, and just look out, dude. I'm telling you, I'm a connoisseur of good food, and that spaghetti sauce. I'm telling you, I should start a restaurant. That's what I should do. Just with the spaghetti sauce. That's it. Focus, hyper focus, no ADHD, right in on the spaghetti sauce like a laser, like sword sharp focused. That's what I should do. If I was a younger man, I'd probably do that. But I'm too busy now. I'm in the flat earth. Now, where are we at? Hold on a second. Let me see. All right. We got some people in here. No, we're not doing solo. Yeah, it's always solo. Tuna soup, Roger. Come on, man. I feed that tuna to my cat. If I get a little bit of tuna on my finger, from feeding the cat, I'm like, oh, God. And then you know what you have to do, right? You're going to have to smell it. And it's just, I'm like, oh, man. Go wash the hands. Yeah. Shut up, D-Rose. I'll do what I want. This is my show. All right, let's get on with it. There's that evolutionary biologist. I caught this guy. It came in my recommended just shortly after I come back. And I said, yeah, I'll earmark that to do a treatment on it. And I put some information, into a file. I just threw it in there, so we'll see how it goes. I haven't gotten back to this for a while. Like I said, we'll see how it goes. I could do this in my sleep, especially. But he's a PhD evolutionary biologist. He's just not, one of your skanking file evotards. At least he's got some credentials to back up his delusions, right? So I figured that's worth something. All right, now listen. Yeah, the tuna bet. Yeah, she would. Next time, ask her if she likes tuna soup. I'd like to get her reaction on that, Roger. So what we're gonna do? We have some. We got the chat covered with some competent mods, so I'm not too concerned about that. Now listen, you can't ask me any questions. I can't see the screen. When we get into it, I can't go back here, right? If you leave super chats, just be patient. I'll get to them, but I can't look at the screen. So no questions, no insults. Nah, you can put insults in there. I don't mind, man. But just behave yourself, all right? All right. Let me make sure a couple things. Make sure he's not blowing my eardrums out. We have to go with that on the fly. I should do that before the presentation starts. You'd figure I'd learn that by now, but no. All right. Let's get him over there. Where is he at? Oh, yeah, so I don't get any phone calls. All right, let's make sure. Looks like we're 5 by 5 here. It's this little bugger right here, this 9.8. I usually have this up a little bit more. Ow! We'll just roll the dice. All right, you guys ready? This is an evolutionary biologist reacts to young Earth creationist argument. This caught my eye right away because if you talk to some evotards, evolution, whatever the hell that is, you're still going to be confused all through this video and at the end. What the hell is that? But I get back in the day, I had a lot of them tell me that, well, evolution doesn't have anything to do with creation. Right? So why am I getting this? Evolutionary biologist reacts to young Earth creationist arguments. That doesn't make any. It's discontinuous, right? It's contradictory, right on the surface. So I don't get it. I really don't, and I'm not going to get it even more so with this guy. And he's an extra special one, and what I like to call delusional Dunning-Kruger. Now, all evotards are delusional Dunning-Kruger, but there's a certain type that always used to make my skin crawl back in the day. And it's a special type of evotard, and their titles are theistic evolutionists. Theistic evolutionists. Those are the ones that believe in God, but are also evolutionists. And it just rubbed me the wrong way. I'd have to get a shower after talking to them, right? You know, with a wire brush and hydrogen peroxide. That's how bad it was. It just always get like, ugh. But that's what this guy is. But I think I could tolerate him. Like I said, I watched a little bit of it about a week ago. And I could tolerate, you'll see what I'm saying. But I just don't get it. Right? At least have some continuity. You'll see what I mean when we bring this numpty up. But let's just get to it. I just keep rambling about it. We just need to get on with it, I guess. Like I said, this guy's Clint Reptiles, and what's his name? We had to go find his name. His name is Dr. Clint Laidlaw. He's right here, right on the thumbnail. Betty asked me, what's his name? I said, Clint Reptiles? And she goes, what's his damn real name? I said, I don't know. It's Clint Reptiles, right? And I couldn't find anything on the YouTube channel, so I had to go search him down on Instagram. That was a lot of fun. All right, well, get back to the right screen. All right, you guys ready? Here we go. Not too bad.
If evolution is real.
Whoa, Joe, if evolution is real. What? What's evolution? Then we'll figure out what's real or not. Let me turn this up, guys. See, I always had this right up. That should be good. Sorry about that. If evolution is real, right, Joe? Oh, boy.
And if there is this constant, I don't know, but
whoa, if evolution is real, is it real? I don't know. Huh?
It's visible.
So you don't know if it's real, Joe, but it's visible? Huh? Do you coherent, dude? Yeah, that's a contradiction.
You can measure it in certain animals.
You can measure evolution in certain animals. Really? Number one, for everything sacred and holy, can somebody define what this monkey is? Evolution. And what is the scientific theory of evolution? Please. All right? So we can take a look at it. And then when you compare it to other things, we'll see if there's any commonalities. All right? We can get coherent with it. But without defining it, there's nothing here. Don't you guys get it? That was a rhetorical question. They don't. Because no evotard in, 2024? Come out here about 2008, just whipping around by their short hairs. You do the math. I have yet to find one that define evolution and give me the scientific theory of evolution. Doesn't happen. And like I said, you can listen to any of these evotards. It doesn't matter whether it's a debate, whether it's an education type of thing. Never will you hear them define the monkey. I mean, that's got to raise at least a weathered eye. You'd think. So, Joe, I don't know what he's doing here. You can measure it in certain animals. What's the units of measure? IUs? Imaginary units, Joe? Goodness.
You can measure adaptation.
Yeah.
But
you can measure adaptation. I'll bet you they're the same units. If you don't know who that is, that you're going to see him. That's Tucker Carlson. Him and Joe are having a deep conversation.
there's no evidence that evolution. In fact, I think we've kind of given up on the idea of evolution.
Given up on the idea of it? What's evolution? How can we give up on something that we haven't defined yet? That doesn't make any darn sense, Tucker. And you're a smart guy.
The theory of evolution is articulated by Darwin.
Darwin never proposed a single scientific theory in his life. It doesn't exist. Period. And you'll never hear it. I'll guarantee you'll never hear it. Like I said, I haven't heard it yet. I haven't seen it. An actual scientific theory of evolution doesn't exist. Never will either.
And it's like kind of not true. Right?
It's kind of not true. It kind of doesn't exist.
In what sense?
In what sense is it not true? I'm just spitballing here. Maybe in the false sense, Joe? that in that sort of vein. We're dealing with idiots. Grown adults, they're abject idiots. Including this guy here. Obviously, this is Dr. Clint Laidlaw, and he's giving a treatment to these guys while I'm giving him a treatment. Now you're all caught up.
Well, in the most basic sense, the idea that, all life emerged from a single cell organism. And
is that evolution? All life emerged from a single cell organism? I don't think so. I don't think that's evolution. Is that the definition of evolution, or is that the scientific theory of evolution? I don't think it's either. But I don't know. No one's given me the friggin' cowbell. So who knows? It could be. I don't know. You know?
over time, and there would be a fossil record of that, and there's not.
There is no fossil record. They talk about a fossil record. There is no fossil record. Doesn't matter anyway. Fossils have nothing to do with natural science. So,
there's not a fossil record of transitionary species?
No, there's not a fossil record, Joe. Transitionary species. My God. What does that mean? Is that evolution? Does it have something to do with evolution? Don't know. And species, what definition are you using here? I mean, the term was first coined by Aristotle roughly 300 BC. Which of the 150 definitions are you talking about there, Joe? It's also a taxonomic classification system. It's utterly meaningless outside the taxonomic classification system. Any extrapolations you make on reality within a man-made convention is a tear-jerking, belly-laughing, begging the question fallacy. Just so you know.
These like species that are adapting to its environment.
There's
and they
tons
develop...
of record of adaptation, and
There's tons of record of adaptation? Where at? What does adaptation mean? To adapt? How's this monkey adapting? How's this monkey adapting? We just don't know. Is that evolution? Nobody knows.
you see it in your own life. I mean, I have a lot of dogs. I see adaptation.
You see dogs adapting? Really? Can you show a picture of that? What the hell does that even mean? Who knows? Because no one's defining anything. Just throwing around terms.
Adaptation in dogs, through the...
Sure.
Okay, Joe, since you agree with them, on your next show, can you show dogs adapting? Can't even say the damn word.
Litter to litter. But...
Really? Show it litter to litter for everyone. We want to see it.
No, there's no evidence at all that, zero, that, people, evolve seamlessly from a single...
Evolve seamlessly? Huh? What's evolve mean? Is that evolution? You don't see any people evolving from a single cell amoeba? Oh, boy. This is getting weird.
Single cell amoeba? No, there's not. There's no chain in the fossil record of
No, there's no fossil record.
that at all. And that's why you don't actually hear people, you hear them make reference to evolution.
Yeah, because they're just mindlessly parroting from what they've been told by idiot evotards or Wiki or Discovery Channel. They ain't going to define it. They ain't going to give the scientific theory of evolution. You know why? because it doesn't exist. You see, the moment that they do, then all their fairy tale evidence goes up in flames. Because if they don't tell you what the scientific theory of evolution is, or they don't define it, then all evidence is evidence for that thing that they didn't define. You see how that goes? It's moronic. Like on a second grade level. The really crazy thing is they've Jedi mind tricked themselves into thinking that's kosher. Maybe they don't even think about it. Maybe it's just, it has to be sort of an inbred natural reaction, right? Because they all do it. They all follow the same line. None of them define it or post a scientific theory of evolution. Do they do it subconsciously? Because that's all they see everyone else do? I don't know. I guess it's a case-by-case basis. We'll take his case here in a few seconds.
Because the theory of adaptation is clearly...
Whoa! Theory of adaptation. Is that a scientific theory? I've never heard of that one. Yeah, I don't think that exists.
Obviously true.
It's obviously true that it's a scientific theory. I don't think so. Don't think so. I'm not going to look it up. It's your job. Listen here, counselors. It's not my job to support your claims. I'm not going to do it. So you have to. You at least have to say what it is first, right? Give me a link. Give me something.
But Darwin's theories totally that's why it's
Darwin never proposed an actual scientific theory in his life. Not a single one. If you think he did, then please post one. And if he did, then I'm wrong. I'll take it. But that's a positive claim. So whoever makes that claim has got to post that scientific theory or they're a net wet.
it's still a theory.
No, it's not a theory. Almost 200 years later, no, that's an argument to age fallacy. Wow, man. This is from one of the learned people of our times, right?
200 years later, no, we have not found that at all.
You have not found what? The scientific theory of evolution? Yeah, I know you haven't found it because it doesn't exist.
And I can't even guess. I mean, I have my own theories on it, but they're...
Wait a second. You have your own theories. Now we're dead into equivocation fallacies, right? Are your theories, your own theories, are they scientific theories? You see, you busted yourself. You don't even realize it. You should have realized it as soon as you said that. But nope.
They're not proven.
What are your theories?
Theories are not proven. That's definitely not a scientific theory. That's your colloquial theory. Colloquial theory is defined as an abject speculation. Yeah, that's why they're not proven. Exactly. Of course, you're muddying the waters with another scientific theory, or an alleged scientific theory that comes from the idiot Evotard that he never proposed one. Why are you smiling? You're going to be on trial here in a few seconds here, son.
Serious.
God created people, distinctly, and animals. I mean, I think
that's the first coherent thing that he said.
That's I think what every person on Earth thought until the mid-19th century.
You can't make that claim. That's outrageous. It's just an outrageous, general, baseless assertion fallacy. You can't do that.
Actually.
Right, but
it's not a new...
What the hell just happened there? Wait a second, maybe I missed something.
Person on Earth thought until the mid-19th century, actually.
Right, but
it's not a new idea.
Did you see what he just did? Let's do that again. That is creepy. I like Tucker, but what? What
Earth
the hell?
Until the mid-19th century, actually.
Right, but
it's not a new idea.
Yeah. Okay, I agree with you. That was a bit creepy. I don't know, Tucker. Jeez. All right, what you got to say?
Whew. There's a lot there.
Yes, there was.
Well, hi there.
Hi.
My name is Clint Laidlaw. I'm an evolutionary biologist.
That's a contradiction in terms. Are you going to define this, monkey? Define evolution and post the scientific theory of evolution. That's what we need from you.
I study
You think he's going to do it?
evolutionary ecology, particularly life history evolution.
Now we're going to evolutionary ecology. It's branching out. That thing we haven't defined is going every which way.
And evolution acceptance through teaching.
Evolutionary acceptance through teaching. Why do you have to accept this monkey? If it's science, there's no acceptance. It just is. If it's natural science, because it's already been validated by experiment. He just gave up the ghost. He doesn't realize it, right? Because he doesn't know what natural science is. He thinks he does because he's an evolutionary biologist and he's got a PhD. The Jedi mind tricks him. They put it up on the wall and they walk around telling themselves that they're scientists, but they're actually not. That's why I'm here.
Also believe in God. And a few months ago, we released...
Oh, let's get that. Sorry, folks. Let's get that full thought. This is important.
I study evolutionary ecology, particularly life history evolution and evolution acceptance through teaching. I also believe in God. And a few...
Ooh, that's going to cause some problems. Like I said, he's an evolutionist and he believes in God. That makes him a theistic evolutionist. If you guys follow that. Like I said, usually they make my skin crawl, but he doesn't for some reason. I don't know why.
2 months ago, we released our first video responding to creationist arguments against evolution.
Okay, wait a second now. There's a big problem. So let me get this straight. You believe in God, who is the creator, but then you're going against creation arguments? Huh? You want to run that by me again? This is what I'm talking about, people. There's contradictory paradoxes everywhere, and it catches you off guard. You're like, isn't this just plain as day? Yeah, it is. Yeah, he's a moron. Yeah, you got it.
And I was shocked by the responses. Overall, I was pleasantly surprised. Honestly, we received a lot of positive feedback from atheists to young earth creationists and pretty much everyone in between. It was what I hoped for.
You put it in your hope chest?
But it certainly wasn't what you always see online. And I was so thankful for all of your encouraging feedback. I really did want to model.
You see, he's a likable guy, right? He's I don't know what it is. He's just got a likable quality about him. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm getting soft. Let's continue.
A better way of interacting with people that disagree with you. And I was so happy to see that that is what came through. I think this world could use a little more understanding and a little less hostility.
Hostility and understanding. You know, in different contexts, I think that's true. Okay.
But not all of the responses were positive. I was surprised that in a video that devotes more than half an hour to addressing common misconceptions held by young earth creationists.
See, he's attacking young earth creation. Are these young earth creationists? What are they doing here? Huh? And why are you even speaking? You're a creationist. Clint Reptiles. You're a creationist. My word.
A video that made me the target of a Kent Hovind whack an atheist video.
Whack an atheist. Does Kent Hovind do whack an atheist cast? Let's see. What? Yeah, he does. I guess he does. That's too funny. Whack an atheist. What the hell is that? So, hold on a second, guys. So you're back. Unbelievable. Oh, I had to make my own dinner. It was a dire need. All right, fair enough. Sorry about that, folks. I ended it right there. We're good to go. Here we go.
Video less than a week after its release that
You know what? You know what would be fun? To have atheists define atheism. I told you I was on I was watching a video some years ago. It was Steve McClown of the Clan McClowns. You know, Steve McRae. And he had a whole ton of atheists on, at least 8 of them, right? And Aaron Raw was one of them. And this video went on for like 5 to 8 hours. It was I was laughing my butt off because they had all arrived there to try to define what an atheist is. And in the end, they couldn't do it. And most of them fell out with each other. And it was truly hilarious. I don't know if it's still on it. I haven't looked at McClown's channel in a long time. Maybe if I get bored over the next few weeks, I'll try to track it down. You could do it if you want. Just go to Steve McRae. Don't put Steve McClown of the Clan McClowns in there. You're not going to get it, right? You got to go Steve McRae. It was his old, real old channel. What, long ago, way before he got, he didn't get famous or anything, but he came out against the flat earth. Way before that. So, I'm sorry, I digress. What the hell was he even talking about anyway? Oh, whacking atheists. That's what it was. All right.
That some of the most hostile responses came from atheists.
Shocking surprise. And what's an atheist?
Who I assume are the usual recipients of Kent Hovind's wax. And all because of one sentence that I've already repeated in this video.
Yeah.
But the truth is that I really loved these comments because they perfectly...
Let's go back to those comments. Let's see some of the comments. I guess he stated that he believed in God, right? All right, let me see if I can't get some of those comments. I didn't read
a
all
week
of them,
after
by the
its
way.
release, that some of the most hostile responses came from atheists, who I assume are the usual recipients of Kent Hovind's wax. And all because of one...
Oh, boy. And I also believe in God. Well, rest in peace, your credit. That's too funny. You can't believe in God and also think we evolved from monkeys? Pick one. What's evolve mean there, love? Jackie doesn't care. Jackie has no brains. Surprised to hear you believe in God. No one's perfect. Oh, boy. You believe in God, so your parents brainwashed you sufficiently that your intelligence level wasn't high enough to overcome that? That's a shame. Intelligence level? You believe something comes from nothing, and ink, paper, and glue molecules can author technical instruction manuals and blueprints. There, Einstein. Morons. Going along fine, I also believe in God. What? You are delusional. There is no evidence for any God. Shocking surprise. Friggin' knuckle dragging window lickers.
One sentence that I...
Oh, there's some more. Oh, God, believing in Noah and the Great Flood? And you call yourself scientists? Oh, boy, there's a... I'm not reading all of them. Jeez. Too much.
already repeated in...
They still keep popping up. You believe in God. So sad. No, you're the sad one. They're Vendish. Look, 666, moron. He could barely tie his shoes without a fleet of slobber nurses. Look, he's Jedi mind tricked him into thinking that he's a scientist. A scientist that believes in God? No, he's not a scientist. I have just 2 words for you. Victor Stenger? I don't know who that is. All right, let's continue.
In this video. But the truth is that I really loved these comments because they perfectly illustrated why I needed to tell you that.
He's such a nice guy, right? I mean, yeah.
And I'll get to that in a moment, but right now,
Are we going to get back to Joe Rogan?
I think we better talk about the clip we just watched.
Yeah, there you go. Let's get back. I almost forgot about him.
There is a lot there. So this was Tucker Carlson in a recent interview that he did with Joe Rogan. Tucker Carlson is, as far as I know, not a major creationist thought leader.
What the hell is a creationist thought leader? What the hell is that?
But it does sound like he is a creationist based on these statements.
You're a creationist. You just said you believe in God. I could end the stream right now, and it's all over for this guy. Yeah, but where's the fun in that? What a moron. He's a likable moron, though, at this point.
He starts off by questioning that evolution is real.
He starts off by questioning evolution. That's not a question. That's a statement, number one. And what the hell is evolution? Define it. Scientific theory, please.
But admits that adaptation is real and measurable. And
yeah, that's just stupid. The scientific theory of evolution's not adaptation. Unless you can post it. Post the adaptation scientific theory here and dovetail it with fairy tale evolution. And then maybe you have a case. Right now you don't. You're a moron.
suggests that we've essentially given up on Darwin's account of evolution.
Given up on his account of evolution? There's not a scientific, there's nothing to give up. There's nothing there. Till you can post a scientific theory, there's nothing there. Prosecution rests.
He suggests that there should be a fossil record of evolution.
What the hell is fossil? No. Fossil records don't exist. What does that have to do with evolution? As of right now, nothing.
Evolution.
Is this evolution? Oh boy.
But there isn't. Though there is lots of evidence of adaptation in the fossil record.
Is that what you're saying? There is no fossil record. Are you saying that's what he's saying, or that's what you're saying? I don't know.
You can even observe adaptation in your own life.
That's what he claimed with dogs. Or is that your claim too?
It in dogs, even from one litter to the next.
Yeah, it's stupid. What are they adapting to? Grass?
But there is no evidence that people evolved seamlessly from amoebas. There's no chain in the fossil record of that at all.
No, there's no fossil record. And this amoeba stuff, is that evolution? No one knows.
The quote, theory of adaptation is.
The quote, what's that mean? The quote, theory of adaptation. What the hell does that mean? Who are you? Witsit? Quote, unquote, or start doing the curling his meat hooks and making the quote. He does that the whole time he speaks, by the way. Moron. What does that mean, quote, theory? Does that mean it's not a theory? I'll bet you that's what that means. It's definitely not a scientific theory. Never come past my desk, that's for sure.
Is obviously true, but.
It's obviously true, really. What's obviously true? What no one knows.
Darwin's theory.
Darwin never proposed a scientific theory in his life. So you, Clint, have just compromised in full your science acumen. That shouldn't surprise anyone.
Is not. And that's why Darwin's theory is still a theory almost 200.
No, Darwin's theory isn't a theory. It was never a scientific theory. There, Clint.
100 years later. All right. Okay, so there are three big ideas here.
Three moronic ideas.
In my assessment. First, that adaptation is real, but there is no evidence for evolution as.
No, we don't want it. We don't care about evidence until you define that which you're going to give evidence for. You see, folks? How many times I tell you that? He's already into the evidence and stuff. Never define it. What the hell does adaptation mean? Adaptation is real, but evolution is not. Is there a connection between these two? Are they different? No one knows.
Proposed by Darwin. Second, the fossil record does not show evidence of.
There is no fossil record, number one, and show evidence of evolution. What's evolution? Let's see. Post the scientific theory of evolution, and then we'll go look and see if the fossil record has any connection to it. Then we'll make the call ourselves. Yeah?
Evolution, just adaptation, particularly no seamless transition from amoebas to humans. And third, this is why the theory of evolution is still just a theory.
No, it's not a theory. You haven't said it. And no one's posted it in years. It doesn't exist. Evolution is just a theory. No, it's not just a theory. It's not a theory. It's not. There's nothing there. You're gonna start to piss me off.
With regard to the first point, I think I understand what he's trying to say. He's saying that adaptation occurs, but does not accept that all organisms share common ancestors.
What does common ancestors have to do with? He never said about anything about common ancestry. What does common ancestry have to do with evolution? It can now because you haven't defined that, monkey, so you can just bring up anything. You can bring up a toe jam. There's my evidence of evolution, and no one's going to say anything against you. Why? Because you haven't defined that what you're giving evidence for, so everything's evidence for it. So where does common ancestry come? Let's just debunk this shit right now. I don't have to debunk it. I'm going to let Craig Venter, doctor type, one each, the grand poobah of geneticists, the geneticist of geneticists, jack this shit yard. And I don't know, it appears that our doctor friend here hasn't been keeping up on his continuing education credits since 2011 at least. So like I said, let's put this common descent quackery out of its misery quick. From Dr. Craig Venter, atheist and evolutionist. I can't believe this guy, because he's super intelligent, is an atheist and evolutionist. I've seen a lot of people like this. They're just... I don't get it. But I digress. He's the grand poobah geneticist, the geneticist of geneticists, in front of God and everyone. States in a conference that there is no tree of life. It's an artifact from early scientific studies that aren't holding up. So, there is not a tree of life. The audience gasped. Dawkins and Krauss turned different shades of green. Go back and watch this. Just type it in. 914 from Arizona State Origins Project. So, just in case you're unsure, the tree of life is common ancestry. Don't let that throw you. So, you hear that sound? That's common descent fairy tale tree carousel circling the drain at light speed. As if Craig actually needed to say it. There's nothing there. It's bunk. It had no science to begin with. And his claim about early scientific studies, there aren't any. Because it's not a scientific topic. It's a secretary collator's topic in a biologist's office. Or a biologer. That's a good one. That's what they should be called. Astrologers, that's what they are. Evolutionary biologists. yeah, that's it. I got it. Nobody can take it. That one's mine. From N.A. Takata, Genetic Perspective on the Origin and History of Humans, Annual Review of Ecology and Systematics, Volume 26, 1995. Even with DNA sequence data, we have no direct access to the processes of evolution, whatever that is. So objective reconstruction of the vanished past can be achieved only by creative imagination. Remember those IUs? The imagination units that they were measuring stuff with? Yeah, it's over. Prosecution rests.
The only funny thing is that
The only funny thing is you. As of right now.
Adaptation as a concept was probably Darwin's biggest
Adaptation as a concept. So, adaptation is a concept. Let me write that down, folks. Don't pens write when you want them to write. Adaptation. Got to shake the dickens out of this thing. Adaptation is a concept. I remember this one. All right, let's go back. Let's get the full thought. We'll pull a J.
Adaptation occurs, but does not accept that all organisms share common ancestors.
Yeah,
the only funny thing is that adaptation as a concept was probably Darwin's biggest contribution to our current understanding of evolution.
What? Look at him. Now it's a current adaptation as a concept is Darwin's greatest contribution? What about the scientific theory? Huh? Oh boy there, Dr. Clint. You got big problems there, sunshine.
That organisms changed over time was
Organisms changed over time? Is that the scientific theory of evolution? A crack addict in a coma knows that things change over time. OMG, dude. I hope that's not the scientific theory of evolution. You got big friggin' problems if it is.
fairly well understood before Darwin's time.
Fairly well understood. I told you, by crack addicts at the beginning of time in a coma. They knew that intrinsically, inherently, as a well-duh. What are you, dumb?
But the mechanism of change was still pretty much a mystery.
Ooh, mechanisms. Oh, you're talking my love language. So what's the mechanism of these changes you haven't shown?
Darwin was the one that found sufficient evidence to propose and defend adaptation as...
Did he? So he's got a scientific theory of adaptation, Charles Darwin does. Let's hear it. Let's see it. Like I said, it's never come across my desk.
as a major mechanism of change.
But adaptation is not a mechanism, you moron. It's a noun. So, first he said adaptation was a concept. Now, all of a sudden, it's a mechanism, which it's not. It's stupid. What else?
Today, the evidence for adaptation is so overwhelming.
Now we got evidence for adaptation that's overwhelming. You know, the mountains and mountains and mountains of evidence, right? Well, show. See, we're on adaptation, not evolution. Do you think you're Jedi mind tricking my audience? I mean, I could be sleeping and destroy this. This is pathetic performance. And you're an actual PhD evolutionary biologist. Now, I can understand this by your average skank and file evotard, and dealt with it many times. But for somebody like you, I mean, you need to pick up your game, son. It's too late anyway. We already played taps a few minutes ago.
That it has been incorporated even into most creationist models. And
Creationist models. What? Number one, you're a creationist, so you just train wrecked yourself. What the hell is a creationist model? Is that like the heliocentric ball-tard spinning space monkey model? We haven't seen that one either. Who wants to bet that he's going to show these creationist models?
Tucker certainly seems to think that it is almost self-evidently true, but that wasn't the case in Darwin's day. So it seems that we don't have a problem with Darwin's mechanism of evolutionary change.
What? Yeah, we do have a problem with it. We have a problem with the mechanism, and then we have a problem with defining the monkey. Those are two big problems you haven't satisfied yet.
Change. Though evolutionary biology today does demonstrate that adaptive change is not the only mechanism of...
Now he's back to adaptive change as a mechanism again. What else is it? Popsicle stick?
of evolutionary change. And Darwin certainly wasn't right about everything. The problem...
Certainly wasn't right about anything. We're surprised. He definitely didn't have a scientific theory.
However, seems to just be with the concept of shared ancestry after...
We already destroyed shared ancestry. I didn't. Dr. Craig Venter, PhD geneticist, did.
Some point. It sounds like he acknowledges that diversification can happen, where...
Diversification can happen? Of what, your portfolio?
Different varieties can...
Yikes! Who's this? Are these candles? Good-looking dog. Is he going to evolve in front of us? Is he going to evolve into a water cup?
Descend from common ancestors
Are these dogs adapting as we're looking at them?
like we've seen in domestic dogs. The question, I suppose, is just what are the limitations on that change and how
What are the limitations on what change? Where do they change? You mean the different dogs? Who knows?
much change has happened historically.
How much change can a change if it could not change? Blatzy, help me with that.
And that really brings us to his second point about the fossil record.
There is no fossil record.
Though this isn't the only place after some point. It sounds like he
Hey, did that skip something? What the hell happened there? Let's go back. Let's make sure we didn't miss anything.
evolutionary change. And Darwin
There is no evolutionary change. There's no evolution.
certainly wasn't right about everything.
I already commented on this. I'm not gonna do it again.
The problem, however, seems to just
The problem is that you're a moron. You're a delusional Dunning-Kruger moron. That's what you are. No offense.
be with the concept of shared ancestry after
brother.
some point. It sounds like he acknowledges that diversification can happen where
Who gives a shit what anyone acknowledges? Show.
different varieties
Oh,
can
boy.
descend from common ancestors, like we've seen in domestic dogs.
This is the third time Dr. Craig Venter destroyed your fairy tale common ancestry a few minutes ago there, son.
The question, I suppose, is just what are the limitations on that change and how much change has happened historically? And that really brings us to his second point about the fossil record.
There is no fossil record.
Though this isn't the only place where we could turn to address these questions.
Where else could we go to turn to address these questions? What questions? Fossils aren't scientific. Fossils have nothing to do with this discussion at all.
He says that the fossil record shows evidence of adaptation.
Oh my God, how can you? All right, let's deal with this. Oh boy. All right, we got something on fossils here. So, with fossils, please post a single scientific hypothesis regarding anything with fossils besides the mechanism and process of fossilization. Good luck with that. All right, I'm going to bring out some heavy, hard, pipe-hitting evotards on your dumbass right now. From Henry G., PhD, Paleontology, Evolutionary Biology, Senior Editor of the most prestigious, quote-unquote, I hate doing that, science journal in the entire friggin' world. Henry G. says, to take a line of fossils and claim that they represent a lineage is not a scientific hypothesis that can be tested, but an assertion that carries the same validity as a bedtime story. I like this guy. Amusing, perhaps even instructive, but not scientific. Let's see what else he has to say. Again, from Henry G. New fossil discoveries are fitted into a pre-existing story. We call these new discoveries missing links, as if the chain of ancestry and descent were a real object for our contemplation, and not what it really is. A completely human invention created after the fact, shaped to accord with human prejudices. Couldn't have said that better myself. In reality, the physical record of human evolution is even more modest. Each fossil represents an isolated point with no knowable connection to any other given fossil. And all float around, listen to this, in an overwhelming sea of gaps. Remember, you get evotards talking about God of the gaps? Nah, they're just projecting because it's actually evolution of the gaps. That's what this is. Even Henry G. When I first seen this, I nearly fell out my chair. I said, yeah, evolution of the gaps. The hardest pipe-hitting evotard. We're not messing around here, folks. Ernst Mayr, PhD Professor Emeritus, Museum of Comparative Zoology at Harvard, one time was quoted by Stephen Jay Gould as the greatest living evolutionary biologist. He's not your Joe Skankin' File evotard. This is big time. He says, given the, oh, look at this. Ernst Mayr, What Evolution Is, 2001. I've seen this. It doesn't tell you what evolution is, though. But I digress. Let's see what he has to say about this. Given the fact of evolution. Fact of what? What's that? One would expect the fossils to document a gradual, steady-state change from ancestral forms to the descendants. But this is not what the paleontologist finds. He or she finds gaps. In just about every phyletic series. Evolution of the gaps. That's what we got. You gotta love this, man. It's freaking hilarious. From Douglas Fudiyama, again, a hard pipe-hitting evotard, dudes. Professor of Evolutionary Biology. Science on Trial from page 82. One of the most striking, potentially embarrassing features of the fossil record, the majority of major groups appear suddenly in the rocks with virtually no evidence of transition from their ancestors. There is no fossil record. I'd challenge him on that. Show! He won't be able to because it doesn't exist either. They're just fossils. Dr. Niles Eldridge, curator of invertebrate paleontology at the American History Museum of Natural History. What did I just say? Let's try that again. Dr. Niles Eldridge, curator of invertebrate paleontology at the American Museum of Natural History. That's much better. He's the co-creator of Punctuated Equilibrium with Stephen Jay Gould, the previous mentioned guy I said up there. I digress. Darwin's prediction, this wasn't a scientific prediction, by the way. Darwin's prediction of rampant, albeit gradual, change affecting all lineages through time is refuted. Ladies and gentlemen, this is in 1982. It was refuted long before that, but this is 1982. I graduated high school in 1982. But I digress. The record is there, and the record speaks for tremendous anatomical conservatism. Change in the manner Darwin expected is just not found in the fossil record. It doesn't exist. It's all over. Right? This is all over. You're delusionary. All he's doing is repeating is what he finds in his idiot textbooks and Wiki and Discovery Channel. That's all he's doing. He hasn't scrutinized anything. I already shown he hasn't been keeping up on his continuing education credits for at least 12 years. This is are these jokes?
But not evolution. Now,
whatever evolution is.
Adaptation is a form of evolution, but I
think... wait, and now it's a form of evolution. So, first it was a concept, now it's a mechanism, now it's a type or a form of evolution. What's it going to be next? A lily pad? He's a clown. If you listen to any of these idiots closely, they compromise themselves. He's just making shit up.
I think he means
contradictory numbskull shit.
Common ancestry.
We already destroyed common ancestry, Clint. You've already appealed to it 4 times.
And the thing is, technically, I can't show evidence of adaptation and not evolution.
Oh my God.
That's like saying that there's evidence that squirrels exist, but not mammals.
No, that doesn't say that, no.
But he is saying that the fossil record shows clear evidence.
No, the fossil record doesn't exist. It's not showing any evidence of anything. I just destroyed your entire fossil record. Well, I didn't. All the evotard gods did.
Of adaptation, but not common ancestry. And I would really like to hear him elaborate on this a bit.
We'd like to hear you elaborate on what the hell evolution and the scientific theory of evolution is. That's what we'd like to hear. You moron!
I'm curious what the evidence is of
I'm curious what the hell it is first!
adaptation in his assessment.
Don't put an air of you're curious and shit. You've been compromised. Not only your science acumen, but just plain ground level coherency.
There is fossil evidence of organisms that were, at some point in the past, alive. Many
Huh? Wait a second. Let's go back on that one.
I'm curious what the evidence is of adaptation in his assessment. There is fossil evidence of organisms that were, at some point in the past, alive.
Really? That's shocking. Profound. Oh boy.
Many were very different from
Do humans breathe air?
the organisms that we see today. The fact that they lived at all suggests that they were, to some degree, suited to their environments. But to have
Shut up.
evidence of adaptation, we would need to see evidence of changes occurring in populations.
What? I thought you already had evidence of adaptation. Now you don't have any? First it was a concept, then it was a mechanism, then it was a type of evolution. You had evidence for adaptation, you had mountains and mountains of evidence, now you don't have any? Oh boy. The tangle webs evotards weave. Baltards are blushing.
Over time. Changes that would specifically make them more
It's a camel.
successful in their respective environments.
Oh, give us a break with your success in environments. For God's sake, is that evolution?
Which we do have. I would just
Which you do have. Okay, show.
want to be sure that he recognizes this as well. To see this, we would need
Recognize nothing. You offered nothing. A nothing burger.
to recognize that some fossils are older than others.
Now he's into the age of fossils. Really? Some fossils are older than others. We're going to have to deal with this. We're going to play the dating game. All right. Oh, I got it. And it's right on time, too. That's shocking. So, dating fossils. Hey, listen. I told you to go down. Go to hell down. Damn, Baltard made this up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, it's not stopping. All right, what the hell is going on here? Damn communist. This son of a bitch won't stop, guys. It won't come off it either. Oh, boy. And Baltard made this program. Okay, let me get out of here. I got to go back in. I haven't forgot what he said, by the way. Dating fossils now. There, let's go over here. There we go. Let's do that first. Let me get back on here. Just a momentary delay. My stuff's moving slow. 1 second. Be moving that slow. Come on. Idiot Baltard software engineers. Where are you? Okay, there you are. Let's go down to the dating game with fossils. I won't try that other maneuver. Well, I might have to. Try it again and see if it does it again. It's working now. All right, let's put it over. So, remember, he was dating his idiot fossils, the fossils we train wrecked previously. So, we're back to Dr. Niles Eldredge, again, PhD, paleontology, biology. He was the curator of the Museum of Natural History of Invertebrates from above. And like I said, he's the lesser half or the co-creator of Punctuated Equilibrium. You know, you remember the Evolutionary, whatever that is, non-change change fiasco by him and Stephen Jay Gould? Yeah, he's one of those. He was a partner with Stephen Jay. This is what he has to say. Paleontologists cannot operate this way. There is no way simply to look at a fossil and say how old it is unless you know the age of the rock it comes from. And this poses something of a problem. If we date the rocks by their fossils, how can we then turn around and talk about patterns of evolutionary change through time in the fossil record? Yes, Dr. Aldridge, the problem is called circular reasoning. I'm going to show you an example. This is going to be freaking hilarious, man. Watch this. So from James, from Og, these guys must be married. James Og and Gabby Og. They're the Ogs. And Grandstein, the concise geologic timescale from Cambridge University Press. Geological stages are recognized not by their boundaries, but by their content. The rich fossil record remains the main method to distinguish and correlate strata among regions, because the morphology of each taxon is the most unambiguous way to assign a relative age. You got that? This then is convoluted and parroted to our kids in school. Watch this trick. This is typical Evotard. So, I've got two citations, both from Glencoe Biology. It's a textbook from 1994. The first one is page 306. The next one is page 307. Okay? Here's what we got on page 306. Listen closely. Fossils in the lower layers of sedimentary rock are older than those found in the upper layers. Often, the layers of the rock can be dated by the types of fossils they contain. So the rocks are dated by the fossils on page 306. Very next page. Scientists have determined the relative times of appearance and disappearance of many kinds of organisms from the locations of their fossils in the sedimentary rock layers. So the fossils are dated by the rocks. Yep, we got ourselves a circular banjo do-si-do going on here, folks. Can you believe that? Right? It's in the same book. It's the next page. They contradict themselves. It's a circle jerk. Yeah, but none of the kids are going to recognize it. They probably wouldn't recognize it if it was posted right underneath each other. Right? So they give a degree of freedom. Also, this statement right here, fossils in the lower layers of sedimentary rock are older than those found in the upper layers. Guess what that is? That's a logical fallacy. It's called denying the antecedent, formal logical fallacy. If P, then Q, not P, therefore not Q. If they are buried together, P, then they both existed together, Q. They are not buried together, not P, therefore they didn't exist together, therefore not Q. Can you see how you can flip this around and take this complete statement apart? It's nonsense. Okay? Shocking. This is at the level that we're at here, folks. Clint, you can't, as of this point right now, you can't dig yourself out. How long have we been going? It seems like a break. Damn, hour and 15 minutes. I'm going to take a break, man. How about that? Let's see what we got going on here. We got Roger Ledwell. And this guy is always hammering, just hammering the super chats. Yeah, hats off to the basil whale or a basilosaurid. Yeah. From Roger again, why did God make evolutionists? Are you going to come up with is that the punchline? Dogs digs up clock bones within those gaps. Too funny. I got where you're going there. Yeah. All right now. I'm taking a break. If you have any comments now, then now's the time. If you put it in a super chat, it's easier. You miss my message. Where's your message at? Hold on. Oh, we got American in the Philippines. Thanks, guy. Please explain the argument against radar horizon. I can't, American in the Philippines, I can't do that right now. This is Evo Tardia. Let's see this one. Let me see if we can't do it the next QE Live. Please explain the arguments against radar horizon when you have time, or point me in the direction of a rebuttal. A ball-tard is annoying me with that. I've never heard of it. I can destroy it. He said, thank you, sir. No, thank you. I can destroy it right now. Just with the horizon, you see, you can't have horizons on a ball-tard. The reason being is because of the slope-intercept formula. See, I'm going to do this. We're going to slope-a-dope. Flatsy, we'll get to your message. Do your message somewhere else. Flatsy, what's your little saying? Put your little saying here with the slope-a-dope. You could slope-a-dope. If a dope sloped a dope, you could dope-a-dope a slope or something. You know, I was trying to hit on that earlier. But please, against the argument against radar horizon, did he provide an argument for horizon in the first place? So horizons can't exist on a globe-tard. Like I said, it goes against the slope-intercept formula, which is y equals mx plus b, which states that all horizontal lines which are derived from horizons have a rate of change of slope of 0. I know you guys all learned this back in high school, and this sounds familiar to you. You're like, I've heard that before. Yeah, you heard it before. It's called the slope-intercept formula. It's taught, sometimes it's taught in grade school. Okay? But the problem is, for the ball-tards, is that the definition of curvature, remember horizons and horizontal lines have a rate of change of slope of 0, the ball-tards IQ? See, the problem for them comes in with the definition of curvature. Because the definition of curvature, according to the United States Naval Academy, is a rate of change of slope. You see? So how can we be told we live on a ball-tard with a rate of change of slope in every direction, yet we see horizons everywhere in reality? That's a paradox. Yeah, so his radar horizon argument goes down in flames. And it doesn't matter, it has radar on there. They all line up the same way. I hope that explains it. If it doesn't, get back with me on the next QE Live, and then we'll go into it. How about that? Now, Kim Hopkins. Yeah, here she goes. I got to wait for another one to get in there because I can't see it because the heart's covering it. YouTube. Here it is. How much slope could a zero slope if a zero slope could slope dope? That's perfect. I love that. Oh, she already helped me out. How much change could adapt change if adapt change could change gaps? Yeah. Outstanding. Outstanding performance, Foxy. Now, what message did I miss? I got to go up? Okay. I'm looking for you. This is small type. Oh, yeah, you put it up. I got you. She put that same message up higher. What did I tell you beforehand? I can't look at these messages because I'm doing the presentation. So I couldn't miss it if I wasn't looking at it. You have to be looking at something to miss it. Does that make any sense? All right, guys, give me, and don't time this, give me a minute and 15 seconds. All right, I made it back. Did I miss one? Are you talking to me, Roger? I don't think I missed one. I didn't miss a super chat. I said them all down the line, didn't I? Oh, maybe I missed the first one from Roger. It's the most proven theory in science. Is that the? Yeah, that I didn't. I missed that one. Yeah. Yep, that's what I've heard. I've been told that ever since I first come out here. Now, listen, even at university in my major, and it had a bio background. I never heard the term evolution one time. Not once. I remember hearing it back before I went to school, but I just blew it off. I didn't really care. But when I was at university, I was waiting for it too, right? Nope, not one time. I didn't bring it up. So it wasn't in any of my classes. None. Zero. Microbiology, biochemistry, none. Zero. Cellular biology, nothing. That should kind of more than raise a weathered eye, right? It should be sending flags, sirens are going off, everything, right? But that's anecdotal because I'm just telling you my experience, right? But when I first start coming out here, that's what all the evotards would say. This is the most valid scientific theory in the history of science. Evolution. Yeah. It doesn't even exist. They think that would get the scent off their trail, right? I guess that's their modus operandi or something. Poor dumb bastards. That makes me dig in deeper. Wouldn't it do that with anyone else? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Thanks, Roger. Appreciate that. We'll get going. Just relax. Shout out to Roger again. They are presuming more than one horizon. Oh, yeah. Most definitely. And you missed my first one. No, I didn't. I just said it. Or were you typing that in before I... Yeah, that could be true. I got the basal well. I got... Why did God make an evolutionist? Dogs dig up clock bones in those gaps. I got that one. Now I got this one. I didn't miss any. All right. Let's get back into it. Thanks. Appreciate it, Roger. Let's get back over here. I think we were dating fossils. Poor dumb bastard.
And that younger fossils, in some cases...
Younger fossils? Is this a younger fossil? Oh, boy.
...represent the descendants of the organisms we see.
No, they don't. Full of it. I already exposed this. Circle jerk.
...as older fossils. And the big thing is we would need to see that these newer fossils have...
No, there's no big thing. What the hell is this? Who knows? I've already debunked this.
...changes that suggest that they were differently adapted to their environments than were their ancestors.
Sure,
if we don't have evidence of change...
If you don't have evidence of change... Let's hear this.
...then we don't have evidence of adaptation.
Profound. You mean adaptation means change? Oh my God, honey. Can you believe this? Clown.
And I don't have a problem with any of that. We do have fossil evidence.
No, fossil evidence, what? You just got fossils. It's not evidence of anything. Except fossils.
Of adaptive change.
Shut up.
I would just want to be sure that we're on the same page.
We're on the same page. You're a moron.
The thing is that we don't just have a fossil record of changes with...
You don't have fossil record. Show. Let's see it. So I thought.
Within the canids, for example.
The canids. Oh, that sounds like a science-y term. What is it? We already destroyed this idiot tree right here. It's over. What is this? Nope and closer. What's going on here? Who knows?
There is a point in the fossil record where we don't.
There's no point in the fossil record. There's no fossil record. Are these fossils? Look like cartoons.
Find any canids at all. But we find carnivorans with feet.
Carnivorans? Boy, that's another sciencey term. Whew. It's getting deep in here.
Similar to canids and other groups. Before that, we don't find carnivorans. But we find other eutherian mammals.
Eutherian mammals! You see, he starts to throw out these terms and these phrases that are utterly friggin' meaningless. Utterly. It's just some idiot secretary, biologist secretaries and collators that came up with these classifications. That's all it is. This is just collating. But he puts it out there as though it like means something. No, it's meaningless. Utterly meaningless, Clint. You better start picking up your game. You keep doing this, you're going to piss me off.
Or mammals, we find synapsids with feet.
He continues. Find synapsids.
Features unlike what we find in modern mammals, but more like other tetrapods, such as
tetrapods. Well, is he evolving right now?
Reptiles and amphibians. And this pattern continues on until the.
We're not concerned with patterns. Natural science has nothing to do with patterns.
Only evidence that we find of life at all is that of single-celled life. Now this.
What? That didn't make any sense.
This doesn't absolutely mean that all life descended from single-celled life.
No, it didn't. It doesn't mean that at all. And we just destroyed your common ancestry. See Dr. Craig Venter, one each, from 13 years ago.
Like amoebas, or that these fossils are all related to one another.
Yeah, how can you do that? I'd like to see the test that shows that. I want to see the relatometer.
But it is exactly the same sort of fossil evidence that we have for adaptation occurring in the ancient past.
There is no fossil evidence and there is no ancient past. Unless you can scientifically validate the ancient past. On your next show, we want the scientific evidence for ancient past. We want the observed natural phenomena, you moron. And then we want to see the hypothesis. And then we'll all belly laugh at you.
So I don't see how we have one and not the other.
Yeah, you don't have anything.
That's why I'd love some clarification on those.
I got some clarification for your ass, and it's everything up to this point. You're exposed. You're a pretender clown. Delusional Dunning-Kruger idiot.
Thoughts. The last point demonstrates a common misunderstanding of the word theory.
Oh, he's gonna bring upon him a whole truckload of whoop ass. Let's get that whole thing. You stepped in it now, son.
Don't see how we have one and not the other. That's why I'd love some clarification on those thoughts.
I'll give you some we already did that one.
The last point demonstrates a common misunderstanding of the word theory.
Yeah, mainly from you. The main misunderstanding is from you. And the misinformation is from you. You're going to stomp a full-on mud hole right dead in your own ass and snatch your own wig off. Gotta love this.
As it pertains to science. And
you're not a scientist, son.
This is probably the fault of the scientific community.
Scientific community? Where are they at? They got an address? How about email or a phone number? I'd like that. I have some comments, very strongly worded, I'd like to send in that direction.
As much as it is a problem of lay people.
Lay people like you. You're the lay person.
In colloquial English, the word theory pretty much means like an unsubstantiated idea.
No, it means abject speculation. So we're going to need a citation or a reference. I already have mine.
Yeah, like Tucker's theories.
And like your theories.
So when you hear that something in science is a theory,
how would you recognize it? You're not a scientist. You already demonstrated that.
it is easy to attach that meaning to the word. There are in science really 4 words that are often...
Oh boy, he stepped all in it this time. Oh boy, Clint. You just don't know, do you? Right from the fire into the blast furnace.
Totally misunderstood.
Yeah, by you.
And those are hypothesis, theory, law, and fact.
Yeah, folks, you couldn't set them up any better than that. Just like Babe Ruth, right? And there's a drunken pitcher out there throwing me watermelons. Oh boy. You know, I should stop this right here. And then, you know, as like a teaser for the next treatment, let's see what reaction I get. Oh, thanks, Roger. I want to get a reaction from this. Hold on, so Roger Ledwell, they're presuming, yeah, visit Globe Terminator. That's a good darn idea. GlobeTerminator.com. That's where I'm at. It's an outstanding website. You won't believe how much information there's on there. All right, so let's see what everyone's got to say about me using this as a teaser for the next treatment. Yeah, Real Science Education says you can ask any person you consider to be a scientist, and I guarantee they will disagree with you on whether or not this guy is a scientist. It isn't a case of disagree or agree, Real Science Education, and you need to change your title of your name here because you would fail 5th grade intro to natural science. Sunshine. Yeah. Agree and disagree have nothing to do with this genre. It either is or it ain't. It's objective. Science is objective. That's what makes it different from all the subjectivity. Yeah. Agree and disagree. The poster children of it. Subjectivity. You get it? Probably not. Somebody change his name. Real doofus education. You just train wrecked yourself. It's not my opinion on whether he's a scientist or not. He's not a scientist. He doesn't know what any of those terms mean. I just train wrecked him on his fossil evidence. Well, I didn't. Craig Venter did. He's a moron. He knows about as much science as my cat's litter box. So, again, the question. Do you guys, how would you feel if I stop right here, because we've been going for an hour and 30 minutes, and then use that as a cliffhanger? That's right, Kim Hopkins. Yeah, that's right. That's what I want to do. Would you appreciate me doing that right now? I know there's a delay. I'll just wait. Come on, everyone, chime in the chat. Let's go. Should I stop? Number 1, or should I keep going? Number 2. How about that? I just don't have any interaction with the chat here. It's pretty brutal. It is a lot of fun, man, because he's going to really, you know what's going to happen here. Probably not. Thanks, Kim. You're just a monkey in a wrench, aren't you? Keep going, number 3. Yeah, I knew I'd get a bunch of wise asses out here. So everyone's saying keep going. Keep going. Two. Keep going. All right. I'll keep going. All right, let's get over here. Let's go with 5. We'll pull a 5er. Oh, I got to get on.
They are
first.
understood.
There we go.
And those are hypothesis, theory, law, and fact.
How much you want to bet he's going to screw every one of those up? Here we go, real science educator out there. Here's where we can tell that he hasn't a friggin' clue what natural science is or the scientific method.
They are often misunderstood even by people in the scientific community.
That wouldn't be you. And no, they're not misunderstood with actual real scientists. That would be kind of stupid, wouldn't it? Just misunderstood by you. You know, lay people. Evolutionary biologists, the paradox, the contradiction in terms. They would be misunderstood by you. Yes.
So I'll explain them really quickly.
Oh, God.
Fact has 2 meanings in.
That's when you know facts have 2 meanings. Well, they can't have. That's a law of identity violation. They can't have 2 different meanings in the same context. Watch out. Listen to him. I'll let him finish.
Scientific community. So I'll explain them really quickly. Fact has 2 meanings in science. And
Okay. Number 1, there's no meaning that's in science. That's a reification fallacy. Number 2, if you're speaking about science as a context, then you can't have the same word mean 2 things in the same context. That is a textbook law of identity violation and an equivocation fallacy. This guy's a moron. He's trying to Jedi mind trick you, but you're already busted.
And I'll give you one now and one here in a minute.
Yeah, I bet.
So the
One fallacy now, another fallacy here in a minute.
first definition is a verifiable observation.
Wrong. How do you verify observations? An eyelid tester? Verifiable observations. That's not what the definition of a fact is. Wonder if I put these in here. I told you they were all over the place, man, so. Yep. So let's see if we find a verifiable observation in here. You know you're not going to find it. From Cambridge, fact, something that is known to have happened or to exist, especially something for which proof exists or about which there is information. No verifiable observations in there. Britannica, fact, something that truly exists or happens, something that has actual existence. Merriam-Webster, something that has actual existence, same thing. Fact from Oxford, a thing that is known to be true, especially when it can be proved. So, nah, you lose. You're a moron. You just made that up. It's moronic on its surface anyway.
That's a fact.
No, it's not.
Laws
Uh-oh.
are descriptions.
Usually mathematical, that's correct, of phenomena that occur as
Usually mathematical, of phenomena that occur, as far as we've observed, in exactly the same way every time under a very specific set of circumstances.
That's incorrect. Not a specific set of circumstances. Under nature or in nature. That's what natural laws are. Because we're in science, and that has to do with nature or natural laws. So the specific set of circumstances, no. One circumstance, nature.
So facts, again, are observations.
No, they're not. They're a lot more than just observations. You've already been exposed there.
And laws are descriptions.
Are descriptions observations? Don't we have to look at something in order to describe it? We could do it other ways, but that's one of the biggest ways. Let's see what descriptions are. From dictionary.com, to convey in words the appearance. Yeah. nature, attributes of something. That's pretty straightforward. Description from definitions.net. A sketch or account of anything in words. A portraiture, that's a $10,000 word right there. Use that in a sentence. I guess they just did. But outside this sentence, I want somebody to do it. A portraiture, did I say that right? A portraiture, that's it. Or representation in language, an enumeration of the essential qualities of a thing or species. Why did you use species? I understand. They used the other equivocating definition of species. But I digress. Britannica.com. To tell someone the appearance, sound, smell, events of something or someone. Description from Merriam-Webster. A statement or account giving the characteristics of someone or something. He doesn't even know what a damn description is.
Now, hypotheses and theories are
No, they're not. First of all, they're two different words, so they can't have the same definition, number one. Hypotheses are not explanations. They're suppositions. A hypothesis is a supposition in the natural cause and effect relationships. It doesn't explain squat. If it did explain anything, there wouldn't be any need for experiments. And experiments are hypothesis tests. You got to love when that shit dovetails. You're exposed. Just this right here is moronic. Two different words. Unbelievable. There you go, science. What was his name out there in chat? He's exposed. He would fail 5th grade intro to general science. Specifically right now.
Explanations. And it's important to understand the difference between an observation, a description, and an explanation. Description. Okay. Description can be used to predict what will happen, but not why it happened.
Wrong. That's not what a description is. We just went through descriptions. Let's check them again. Does anyone see the word prediction here? How can a description be a prediction? That doesn't, it's non sequitur. Oh boy. And hypotheses are predictions. Scientific predictions. That's the context we're in. So, and hypotheses don't describe anything. They don't explain anything either. This is a suppositional statement. So, you're a train wreck. You're done. He's just making shit up.
We have something called the law of universal gravitation.
Oh, no, you don't. Oh, no, you don't. That was debunked over 109 years ago. So, he's not following his continuing education credits for at least 109 years. Went from 12 to 13 years all the way to 109 just with this horse shit.
It is that the gravitational force between...
This is not the universal law of gravitation. The universal law of gravitation from Newton's Principia, shout out to Adam, is not this equation. And like I said, this was debunked 109 years ago. See Albert Einstein, general theory of relativity.
Between two objects equals the product of the...
Define mass. Yeah, get your popcorn out.
Masses of two objects divided by the squared distance between the centers of mass of the two objects, all multiplied by the gravitational...
Incorrect. This is debunked.
Constant. That is the mathematical description of the gravitational force.
Gravity hasn't been a force for over 109 years. How can you describe something that's been debunked? That's a good question. Answer that one on your next show.
That you would predict to observe based...
There's no predictions.
Based on all of our observations.
Can't have predictions, scientific predictions, hypotheses, and natural laws. Another paradox.
To this point. At least until Mercury and Einstein went and turned everything.
Oh, what? What about Einstein? Let's go back. 5. Wait a second.
On all of our observations to this point. At least until Mercury and Einstein went and turned everything on its head.
Oh, so you recognize that it was debunked over 109 years ago by Einstein, but yet you still put it up there as proof of something. This is delusional. He's delusional. You just train wrecked her. You snatched your own wig off.
Because even laws are not set in stone. But
yes, they are. They are set in stone. The laws of thermodynamics being my shining examples. Because if it's not set in stone, it was never a law, a natural law to begin with. Like your universal law of gravitation. That was never a natural law.
we have a law of gravity.
No, we don't.
And why do objects with mass attract one another? No idea.
Oh my God, man. Thank you. Appreciate that. Clown. The number one reason why it was debunked over 109 years ago. That's prosecution rests, idiot.
You know why? Because descriptions are not explanations.
Well, at least you got something right. What's the difference?
To understand why this happens, you would need an explanation.
No, you would need an experiment. Explanations are a dime a dozen. I can go get explanations down at the corner with the village idiot. Yeah. So all we need, according to you, that's all I need? You bonehead.
And that is where hypotheses and theories come in.
I thought they were both the same. That's where hypothesis is not going to give you any explanation. We already went over that.
But the difference between those two things...
Wait a second. You put those two things together. Now there's differences between hypothesis and theories. You going to snatch your own wig off some more?
This is often poorly understood.
Yeah, by you.
Both of them are testable scientific explanations.
No, they're not. A hypothesis is testable. It's not a testable explanation. It's a supposition. Why would you need to test the explanation if it's already an explanation? You testing a non-explanation to make it an explanation? Flatsy, hook something up with that, man. What a moron.
The big difference is in their scopes.
No, the big difference is they're two different things. Hypothesis is a predictional supposition in the natural cause and effect relationships, and scientific theories are the result of validated hypotheses confirmed by experiment. You'd fail, like I said, intro to 5th grade general science. You're not a scientist.
Hypotheses explain a rather small...
No, they don't. Hypotheses don't explain small stuff. They don't explain. They're not explanations. You're a moron.
Number of phenomena, whereas a theory is an explanation that ties together multiple different phenomena.
No, that tie together multiple different hypotheses. This guy doesn't know what a scientific theory is. Let's see if we can snatch it. It's around there somewhere. I think I put it. Yep, I did. So, a scientific theory from chemistry about a scientific theory summarizes a hypothesis or group of hypotheses that have been supported with repeated testing. From quarks to quasars, a scientific theory consists of one or more hypotheses that have been supported with repeated testing. From the University of Rochester Physics Labs, a scientific theory represents a hypothesis or group of related hypotheses which has been confirmed through repeated experimental tests. We're all saying the same thing. Scientific theory from Scientific American. Scientific theory is an explanation of some aspect of the natural world, see that? That has been substantiated through repeated experimental tests. Yep, there it is. You're a moron. You would fail intro to 5th grade general science, like I said. Simple.
That would otherwise appear to be unrelated or very loosely related.
You're a moron.
A hypothesis does not become a theory just because it is well substantiated.
Ah! Really? That's not, according to Scientific American, it is. My God. He said a hypothesis doesn't become a theory just because it's substantiated. That's what it is. A scientific theory is an explanation of some aspect of the natural world that has been substantiated. He even used the same friggin' word. Through repeated experiments or testing, you're finished. That's it. There you go. I didn't have to do anything, really. Just sit back and watch him torpedo himself. Just bash himself in the face with a spade shovel over and over again. Thank you, by the way.
And while a theory is often composed of many related hypotheses,
often? No, always. I just went through them. Not often, always.
a single hypothesis would not become a theory unless it turns out to explain far more than originally thought.
Far more than originally thought. Citation, please. That's just stupid. Look, he's a moron. That's why he's an evolutionary biologist. Why? Well, because he's a moron. That's why. Simple. Thanks, by the way.
But, and this is really important.
Uh-oh. What's next?
No matter how well substantiated a theory may become, it never ceases to be a theory.
A scientific theory, that's correct. It never graduates to any. A lot of idiot baltards and evotards think that theories become natural laws. So he got one thing right out of this whole train wreck. Yeah, but you're already good and exposed. You can't recover.
Theory is the highest form of scientific explanation.
Their scientific explanation is the highest form in science, period. The highest form. You could call it an explanation. I would say it's the highest form of validated explanation, validated by experiment in science. So I'll give you half credit for that.
It never becomes a law because an explanation isn't a description. And
correct.
It isn't self-evident.
Look, the sun shines on a dog's ass every now and again, but it's too late for you. You can't recover.
Then a law is of greater value than a theory anyway, though both have their utility. A theory doesn't become an observation either.
A theory doesn't become an observation? Huh? You gone full on crack. I mean, that non sequiturs are in the corner belly lashing. What the hell did you just say? Theories don't become observations. No. That doesn't have, it's convoluted nonsense.
Explanations are not observations.
Explanations are definitely not. I thought you said explanations were observations before. Didn't he say that before? I'm not going back. You're a moron.
But they must be able to be tested by what can be observed.
What, you're testing explanations by what can be observed? Huh? Give us an example.
That said, theories can potentially be considered facts.
No, theories are facts. They are validated by experiment. Scientific theories are facts. Facts. They are validated by experiment. Facts. Idiot. You don't know what a fact is. Oh, he's going to give us his, remember the second definition of fact? He's going to screw the pooch. He's going to double reverse stuff us here. Let's get your second definition.
But only by the second definition.
I told you I knew it was coming. Ah. What's your train wreck second definition? Law of identity violation, equivocation fallacy second definition, moron.
Fact, which is something in science that has been so rigorously tested and consistently supported.
He just contradicted himself. You just contradicted yourself. So this is so rigorously tested, right, that it's a fact, that it is no longer of great utility to question it. That you just made that up. So something in science, where's that at? That has been so rigorously tested So something that has been tested and is a scientific theory is a fact, but he just said scientific theories may not be facts. You just contradicted yourself.
That it no longer is of great utility to question its legitimacy. By this definition, a theory could be considered a fact.
No, not could be considered, is a fact by your own definition, you moron. Folks, I present to you the delusional Dunning-Kruger moron, Dr. Clint Laidlaw, the evolutionary biologist paradox. There he is. He just did it all by himself for you.
But that wouldn't mean that it would cease to be a theory. Theories
Oh my God.
can be rejected, but there is no point.
No theories cannot be rejected. The only way an actual scientific theory can be what you call rejected is to find something wrong with the experimental design. That's the only way. The only chance. Hey, could you provide an example of one? No, because he's just making shit up.
Point where a theory can graduate to a higher level. It's already the top. If a theory is
We already went over this. Why are you doing it again? To cover your tracks? You're already exposed.
still a theory after 200 years,
Argument to age fallacy. He's going to top it all off with another fallacy.
must be pretty good.
Must be pretty good, huh? Just because of time, right, Clint? Clint's reptiles, you moron. That's an argument, textbook argument to age fallacy. Over. It's over for him. We're going to stop at Clint's reptiles. I think that was it. Let me see.
I gotta tell you, with every video that we make,
Yeah, he's going to go off into another topic. Yeah, that's it. How you like that, folks? How you like that? Huh? Just let them open up their incoherent blowholes and let them snatch their own wigs off. That's how you do it. Yeah. Who cares? I care, Kim. All right, let's go back over here. There we go. All right, there you go. It's 8 o'clock. Real science education. Yeah, that was him. Where'd he go? Real science. Did he double down? Let me scroll up. Let's see where he doubled down. Real science education. Great enthusiasm about the authority of Scientific American. Yeah. What do you suppose Scientific American would conclude about the shape of the earth? Well, you just snatched your own wig off again, real science education, you dumbass cracker. Natural science only adjudicates natural cause and effect relationships. It has nothing to say concerning shapes. That's geometry, you moron. Thank you for typing in your text chat. Appreciate that. How you like that enthusiasm? Just compromised yourself. You did it earlier without even knowing it, unwittingly. All right, guys. Yeah, that's about it for today. Oh, let me do something before we go. I want to save that spot. Let me go back 5 seconds. Hold on, guys.
we also
I got to save that spot. Go back. Let's pull another fiver. I think that's close. Let's pull. I didn't go that far. 5. There he is. He's a moron. I got him now. Copy video URL at current time. Yeah, so I got the next one right on time. We'll see when we get to that. Over the next few days, it's going to be a little dicey. We got a major mission. I say we have a major mission coming up here over the next few weeks. We do have BALLBUSTERS on Saturday, and for right now, it's going to be Boy Zero Sky Grifter, shits at zero. We're not going to pay too much attention to him. Verse Professor Cream of Wheat, Dave Farina. So that's what's, as of right now, that's what we're going to do. I don't think it's going to change. I haven't even looked at that stupid thing for at least a week and a half, and I only listened to the first few minutes of it. So enough to get the stars are spinning or rotating in opposite directions. Oh boy. Yeah, we'll get to that. That's what it looks like from here. All right, let's collapse that. That's saved. Get back to live stream. Any final thoughts? Hey, appreciate it, man. Vlad Zero, Epic Show, QE, thank you. Yeah, appreciate it, man. Yeah, I enjoy doing them, especially with Evotards. And I especially like PhDs. Yeah, with your average skank and file Evotard, it's just like your average skank and file Bothard. It's not a big deal. They're just regurgitating what they've been told by these morons. So I'd rather go to the sources. Did Real Science Education comment again, Kim? I don't see one, unless he snuck one in there when I left. No. Oh, I think you're talking about the last one he did. Yeah. Too funny. Yeah, he train wrecked himself. All right, guys, let's listen to what. Before we go, we'll listen to. Well, I'm going to go, but on the way out, I'm going to give you some audio of another PhD. Right, this PhD that you're going to hear on audio is M. Scott Veach. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he does have a PhD, and let's get his views on what he thinks curved lines are. Oh boy. All right, guys. Have a good one. Catch you on Saturday, 2 p.m. U.S. Central. I think it's 8 p.m. UK. It might be. I think it's 8 p.m. UK. Yeah. And I don't know what time it is in Australia. I can't remember. But I'll see you again on Saturday. All right. Here we go. Here's the PhD M. Scott Veach for you. Hang in there. QE. Out.
An equator is a straight line. In spherical geometry, that's true. Look up the definition.
No, straight lines do not curve.
In spherical geometry, a straight line is one that will curve. As long as it curves in a straight way. Along a sphere. That's correct.